Watch this video to quickly learn how to use the Variable Fillet Edge component new in Rhino 9. With this component, you can create chamfers and fillets that are not static along the edges. The component is a bit tricky with the data tree structure, so I show many examples in this video. Let's get going with the first example. The example scripts are available via the link in the description. The component needs an object for the shape input. I am using query model objects to get boxes from the model layers. Different blend styles are available: fillet, chamfer, and blend. The radii input changes the radius of the operation. I will explain something important about this with an example later in the video, so keep watching until the end. The metric input changes how the fillet is calculated. Rolling ball represents a ball being rolled along the seam. Edge distance keeps fillet start from the next edge constant, and rail distance keeps the fillet thickness constant. I will link a video that explains this well in the description. You need to select which edges you want to apply the fillet to. If a preview on the component is enabled, handy leaders appear to indicate the edge number. Here I have only selected edge 1. If we zoom in a little, we can also see that there are small arrows in the edges. These are to indicate the direction so that we know where 0 and 1 of a reparameterized curve are. This is important because we can also add different fillet radiuses to different sections of the edges with the params input. In the second example, fillets are created so that the edges are rounded towards only one corner. Edges 1, 2, and 6 have been selected. Here it is good to notice that curve 6 direction is not positive towards the corner. The radius at the curve start is always defined first, and the radius at the end last. The params input requires there to be a 0 at the start, so we cannot flip it using that input. Merge is used to construct a data structure that is acceptable for the component. A tree is formed so that there is one branch per selected edge. Getting back to the params input mentioned a second ago, it has a similar structure as the radii. The idea is to pair param and radius values. Here we have line 1 that has radius 0 at param 0, also known as the start point of the line, and radius 10 at param 1, which is the end of the line. In the third example, we have otherwise similar script, but there are now 3 radius and 3 params per edge. All edges have radius 0 at the start, 5 at the middle, and 0 at the end. You can see it in the 3D, 0, 5, 0. This is another variant where the list length has been increased and radius is now defined at 0, 0.2, 0.8, and 1. This is creating a section in the edge where the fillet radius is stable. For the third example, I have crafted something more parametric. The radius and the parameter are editable. Remember that you can also edit the underlying geometry by moving edges like this. The filleting remains parametric. Here is an example that is using chamfer instead of fillet. Now to the important part about blend. Using fillet will try to create the exact radius, and blend will make a smoother curvature. Here you can see the difference between the two on an edge. The section is taken from middle. The radii is set at 0.5, so it is exactly 10 for the fillet, but something else for the blend. That is all for now. If you learned something, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next.